The one thing standing between you and financial panic is an emergency fund. And today I want to talk to you about why an emergency fund is so important. So let's go back to the year 2024. Okay. Back in that time, I just got into a new industry that was paying me way more money than I was receiving before. I just got myself into an industry that was a lot more profitable, right? I started working with these guys. Big checks start to come. And also, for the record, I was freshly out of the relationship. So in that moment, I was kind of like, really enjoying life, partying here, partying there, going out here, going out there, spending here and spending there. And then I found myself with nothing. Let me repeat that to you. Nothing. I found myself one afternoon wondering how I was going to reach the end of the month because I got zero savings. I got a few dollars to go ahead and pay for food and a few dollars to sort of like pay the rent. And I was like, oh my God, what did I just get myself into right now? What did I just get myself into? So obviously, with time I start figuring out how to reach the end of the month, and that's just story, that's just history. But during my search to become a better person and to understand a little bit more financial literacy and stuff like that, the first thing that every single guru online, go to any YouTube video right now, go to any YouTube video and go to any Instagram video, go to any TikTok video, and everything that they will tell you is the first thing to be sort of like having a good financial standing is to get an emergency fund. In very simple terms, what is an emergency fund? An emergency fund is going to be your basic expenses. No fun, no extra nothing, just what you need. Shelter, food, transportation, covered, right? So let's say that your basic needs, right? Basic needs represent $3,000 a month, right? Those are your basic needs. Well, then you go ahead and do that and then you multiply that times 3 or 4. So if it's $3,000 a month and you multiply it times 3 or 4, that will be either $9,000 or $12,000. That is the baseline to be secure in the sense of any major BS happening to you, like losing your job, getting into an accident, I don't know, major crap that happens to you, because life gives you crap. What can I say? That's how it is. I mean, I'm old enough to know that all the good times are great, but the bad times teach you lessons, right? So the lesson that I learned was that an emergency fund prevents you from feeling in that way, right? So how do you build an emergency fund? And this is my personal intake, right? First and foremost, figure out what are your basic needs. And in your basic needs, you need to figure out first transportation, housing, food, insurance for your car, insurance for your health if you have health problems, phone, internet, and all the other stuff that comes with it. Make sure to figure out exactly how much is that you need. And then, whatever is the difference on what you earn, you use it and you save it. Yes, creating an emergency fund it's a little restrictive, yes. Creating an emergency fund is a little bit of a complicated thing because you want to enjoy life, but right now you're working. I remember clearly one of my friends who said, hey, we should go paddle boarding. Why don't you get a paddle board? And I was thinking like, yeah, I'm going to get it, but let me go ahead and first finish my emergency fund. I have to go ahead and complete this. This is more important. And it's true. My emergency fund was the most important thing. And that was the first thing I would start working on. And for a very long time, unfortunately, I had to say no to a lot of fun until I built it, And when I built it, I started moving with my next few steps. Textbook definition of an emergency fund, as I told you before, is 3 to 6 months of expenses, basic needs cover. So if you lose your job or anything happens to you, that takes care of you. A few things that it does to you. It buys you a peace of mind. Like, unexpected shit happens to you. It doesn't come out. It doesn't feel like the end of the world. You can manage. It's annoying, but you can manage, you know? Whenever you're jumping into, let's say, a new business, a new job, a new possibility, right? It gives you the ability to say no. If the job offer you're getting, they're giving you, is not good, and you're not in a situation where you're desperate to put food on the table, you can actually say, no, this doesn't work for me. I appreciate you. Have a great rest of the day. You know? It changes the way you look at money. And this is a very big one. Because before the emergency fund, you see money as something that needs to be spent right away, allocated in different places. When you have the emergency fund, you know that now you have something to back you up, but you're not desperate to figure out how you're going to come to the end of the month because you have that security. Worst case scenario, then you touch it, you allow yourself to fail. You stop expecting everything to go perfect, and you allow room for unexpected expenses or things to happen, and yet still be okay with it. Yes, it's annoying. Yes, you need to go ahead and grab a little bit of it and use it. But at the end of the day, that, sensation of feeling stressed because you don't know what money are you going to be using disappears when you have an emergency fund, And the most important thing is also harder to knock you down. It's absolutely harder to knock you down because the higher or the more prepared you are, the better it is for you when shit happens into your life, And again, you can be driving and all of a sudden you get yourself into an accident. Yes, you survive the accident. You'll be more concerned about surviving the accident than actually the cost of fixing your car, or if your car goes to total. You have your emergency fund backing you up. It's prepared for that. You get sick, you go to the hospital, and then they tell you that you need to be in emergency. They will ask you, I don't know, something to pay up front. You don't freak out because you already have it there. You're like, okay, well, it's what it is. I have to do it. I have no other choices, And then that's the most important thing. That's what makes the difference between you having a financial panic and just, taking it because it's shit. You take it. But then you're like, okay, well, I accept my fate, I guess. So far, what I've been telling you, it's kind of makes sense to you. Please make sure to drop a like. That helps to grow. We're like very small right now, but I appreciate you if you're actually watching. So the emergency fund, I would say, is the first step into getting your financials right. Matter of fact, this is a little series that I'm doing now when it comes to money. So it's important that once you go ahead and tackle your financials, I guess the first step into your financials, once you tackle the emergency fund part, right, then comes other steps into your financial journey to get better at it, to fix your finances. Because once you have your finances, fixed, and you already work on everything that you need to work, the rest just flows into you. The rest just flows into you. And honestly, it's just one of those things that, a lot of people don't talk about. So remember, one of the most important things is when it comes to your basic expenses, figure out your basic expenses. Okay? Figure out exactly what is that you need, not want, need on the monthly basis to be okay. Out of whatever money that you get, let's say on the monthly basis, like your total cost is $3,000 and you get $5,000, grab those $2,000 and save them. Then the same thing the next month, and so on and so forth. Yes, it's not comfortable. Yes, it's not fun. I was offered multiple times to have fun, but I didn't want to because there was a greater good. And in this case, the greater good was to make sure to create my emergency fund so that way I can go ahead and feel safe. Okay? So again, if you're watching this video, again, it's not that hard. The sacrifice takes about 2 to 3 months, depending how much money you make. And then remember, that's your peace of mind. If there's something I've learned with the years, is to protect my peace. And I feel like having an emergency fund really, really gets the job of protecting that peace. Again, if you find value on this video and then you like it, feel free to go ahead and just give me a like and subscribe to the channel. And also, taking in consideration this, watch this video right here so we can go ahead and talk a little bit about monthly expenses and why they matter more than how much money you make on the monthly basis. Thank you so much. We'll see you later.